Hi, can you hear me?
Hello, everyone. This is Carvel. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep, Kathy's
Awesome.
here too.
All right, let me pull up the deck
Yay.
here. Oh, Kathy, it says you're in it. Do you mind closing it out? Is it just you?
Yeah, it's just me. You guys got to do the hard work though, so problem.
I thought you'd have one of the, you said you guys had interns now?
I do have an intern, but yeah, I thought I would take this one since it's after hours.
Got it. Hey, I'd be like, toss it to the intern. No.
Yeah. I mean, she's part-time, so I don't want to put too much on her.
Got it.
Yeah.
Maybe I figured out which link to connect on. I clicked on a link before and it was saying I'm an attendee in listen only mode. And I figured that didn't sound right.
All right, let me see what you guys can see here. All right, so what can you guys see?
That looks like the presenter mode. So you need to just like switch the screens.
Let's see here. So can you guys see the screen that has the notes on the right side or no?
Yes.
Okay, hold on here. Oh, it went back. Hold on. Hold on here. Oh. Yeah, it keeps automatically putting it on there. It's still the same for you guys?
Yeah, can you do the display settings?
Oh, that's right. Hold on here.
There you go.
All right, what can you guys see now?
Now I can just see the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, I just need to make it bigger.
Is that how we had it last time?
It looks good from my end.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hit, there's no page forward though. Hold on. So you guys can't see the box that, the GoToWebinar box?
No.
Can you guys see me changing the pages?
Yep.
Is it pretty quick or is there a little bit delay?
No, it's pretty quick. Yeah, it's bouncing through.
Gosh, won't let me take this off. Come on. The GoToWebinar thing won't go away. Can you guys see the GoToWebinar thing or no?
I don't see it.
I don't see it. Do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good.
Oh, it's weird. It's showing different than last time. Last time it was not showing on both screens and I can't get it to go off of both.
If an attendee joins right now, would they be able to hear us?
Yeah, I think someone started the broadcast, so yeah, anyone who joins would be able to, but it's just us right now.
Oh, how do we stop broadcast?
I think once you start it, you can't stop it. But it might have just been an accident with someone signing on, but that's okay. We don't have any attendees on anyway.
Hopefully we'll have at least one.
Right? All right, so if you guys want to take this chance and run to the restroom or grab some water, and then we will get this show started.
Yay!
Yay! All right, good vibes for everyone. I know that we will do a great job. All right, I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay. What did we decide about music? Is that an option? No.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I'm just gonna unmute and play it through my speakers. That's what we did last time.
Yeah. Okay.
You can let me know if it like sounds weird.
Yeah, and just kind of soft. That sounds good.
Is that too loud?
Nope. I think that's fine. Just so there's something coming through. That's fine.
Okay, everyone, we see that it's 4 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and just give it a couple more minutes to let others sign on, and then we'll get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started so that we make sure we have enough time at the end for some Q&A. My name is Kathy Haney, and I am a trust officer with BECU Trust Services. First of all, thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us for the FlexIRA webinar. Today, you have two fantastic presenters, if I must say. We have Mike Teramoto, who's a senior trust officer. Mike has 9 years at BECU Trust Services with a total of 25 years in the trust and investments industry experience. And Carvel Taylor, he is also a trust officer. Carvel has been with BECU Trust Services for 4 years and has 19 years of financial services industry experience. Before we begin, I'd like to go over just a couple of housekeeping items. This presentation is being recorded and will be available for playback in approximately 3 weeks. As you think of questions, please use the chat feature. We plan to answer questions at the end of the presentation. We will have time for additional Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you did not have a chance to put your question in the chat, you will have the opportunity to ask live. If we don't have time to get to all of your questions today, our contact information will be provided at the end of our presentation. I do need to provide a disclosure to you all that BECU Trust Services and the presenters today are not attorneys, and this presentation is not meant to give legal advice. It is intended, though, for general information for you all. Okay, here's the agenda for today's presentation. First, you'll hear an introduction about BECU Trust Services. Next, you'll get a glimpse into the importance of estate planning. Then some general information about traditional IRAs, and then some more specific information about what a FlexIRA is and how it can be beneficial. We will go over some examples as well, and then to end our time, we'll go over some Q&A. And with that, Carvel, I will hand it over to you, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate you kicking us off and going over the agenda. My name is Carvel Taylor, and I am a trust officer here at BECU Trust Services, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about our department. So BECU Trust Services has been around for almost 20 years. We were started back in 2003. BECU Trust Services is a full-service corporate fiduciary offering trust and estate administration, trust agency services, and investment management. BECU Trust Services is an agency office for Members Trust Company, which is a federally chartered thrift. Members Trust Company was started by about 40 plus credit unions, with BECU being one of them. Members Trust Company has over $4 billion in assets under management. Wow, that's a lot, right? All right, I'm going to talk about what an estate plan is. So an estate plan is a map that reflects the way you want your personal affairs to be handled in the case of incapacity or death. Incapacity being very important there. An estate plan. So without an estate plan, you can't control what happens to your property if you die or become incapacitated. An estate plan makes your wishes clear and helps avoid family disputes, can preserve assets and provide for loved ones. An estate plan is not just for the wealthy. Everyone needs an estate plan. Again, we all need an estate plan. Very important there. All right, you need an estate plan if your spouse isn't comfortable with financial matters, especially during a stressful time such as death or incapacity. You have minor children. You have a disabled beneficiary. You own property in more than one state. We know a lot of folks on the phone may have property in the desert and go down there during the winter. You care more about what happens to your estate, and incapacity is a concern. Again, incapacity, very important piece there. Let's talk about planning for incapacity. Planning for incapacity. Incapacity can strike at any time. Failing to plan could mean a court could appoint a guardian whose decisions may not align with yours or be what you want. There are some important documents when it comes to incapacity planning. Durable powers of attorney for finances and for healthcare. Durable just means the document survives your incapacity. And in both documents, agents may have general or specific powers. Directive to physicians, specify the types of care you want if you become terminally ill, dying, or permanently unconscious. Physician's orders for life-sustaining treatment is a medical order that helps give people with serious illness more control over their care during medical emergencies. All right, let's talk about what a will is. A will is the cornerstone of an estate plan. A will provides information about who receives your assets after your death, how your assets will pass, when your heirs will receive the assets. A will lets you choose an executor, whether it's an individual such as a family member or friend, or a professional fiduciary such as us here at BECU Trust Services. A will also allows you to choose a guardian for minor children and create testamentary trusts. Important to note, wills do not control financial assets with beneficiary designations such as checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs, investment accounts, IRAs. Anything with the beneficiary designation does not pass through your will. All right, let's talk about what a trust is. So, a trust is a legal entity that holds property in which a trustor transfers property to a trustee for the benefit of a beneficiary. I know that's a mouthful there, right? Let's talk about a living trust versus testamentary trust. Living trust is created by a grantor during lifetime, while as a testamentary trust is created by a grantor's will. Revocable versus irrevocable trusts. Revocable trusts can be changed at any time by a grantor during their lifetime, as long as they are competent. Irrevocable trusts usually can't be changed without a court order and/or approval of all beneficiaries. A trust can also be used for asset management, for control to beneficiaries or disbursements, and also for protection from creditors, divorce, and spendthrift. Now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Mike Teramoto, who will talk about what a retirement plan is. Take it away, Mike.
Thanks, Carvel. Okay, so Carvel went through what an estate plan is, right? And the various aspects of an estate plan. Okay, and especially important, the estate plan is both covers incapacity and death. Okay, so now focusing more on what is a retirement plan. Okay, and just like an estate plan, but different, a retirement plan's just a map that reflects how you will ensure your financial security after your working years, right? At some point, everybody's hoping that they'll be able to retire and not work anymore. And you need to have a plan that is going to reflect your financial security after you stop working. Okay, the aspects of a retirement plan primarily include pensions, social securities, 401k and other contribution retirement plans. Can include IRAs, of course, which is going to be the focus of what we're going to talk about more later. Other aspects of a retirement plan can include annuities, accumulated investments and savings, life insurance, long-term care, lots of things that may be part of the financial aspects of a retirement plan. Okay, and just to reiterate, everyone should have a retirement plan. You don't want to go into retirement, stop working, and not have a plan to know how you're going to provide for your financial security after you stop working. Okay, because that plan allows you to stay in control of your retirement, to have that peace of mind. Nobody wants to be worried about where they're going to be able to get the money to pay their rent or their utilities or whatever the case may be in retirement. And hopefully there's going to be some money left over to do some fun things, to travel, do some hobbies, do whatever it is that you love to do. Okay, so one of the aspects of a retirement plan is the IRA, right? And in fact, the IRA is really the significant type of account where many people have a majority of their wealth, in addition to maybe their primary residence, right? It's not uncommon for a retiree to own a home, to have an IRA, and maybe to get Social Security. Some retirees might be lucky enough to have a pension and some other assets on top of that. But an IRA is really probably the second largest asset that many people have in addition to their home. There's two basic types of an IRA. Okay, the first is the traditional IRA. That's clearly the most common type of IRA and can result from pre-tax contributions or as a rollover from a 401k or other employer type of retirement plan. Within an IRA, the investments grow tax deferred, right? There's no income tax within the IRA itself. There are penalties if you take money out of that IRA before age 59 and a half. Generally, any distributions from a traditional IRA are taxed as ordinary income. And there are rules about required distributions starting at age 72. Prior to the Secure Act, the age was 70 and a half, but going forward, required distributions now start for retirees at age 72. The other general type of an IRA is a Roth IRA. In this particular IRA, contributions are made after tax or can be rollovers from a traditional IRA that is then taxed and converted into a Roth. Okay, for a Roth IRA, there's the various rules to allow the owner to take distributions out tax-free. One of those, they must have the Roth for 5 years. Within a Roth IRA, just like a traditional IRA, there's tax deferral, no taxes within the IRA itself, and then distributions from a Roth IRA completely tax-free with no required minimum distributions during the IRA owner's lifetime. Okay, so that's the two basic types of an IRA. Regardless of what type of IRA it is, whether it's a Roth or traditional, there's generally 4 main categories for IRA beneficiary designations. Okay, we'll go through those one by one. The first is individuals, right? And that's the most common. You can name a spouse, you can name children, grandchildren, friends, relatives, significant others. Those all count as individuals. There are different rules that can apply to different types of individuals depending on their status. A spouse can be named, right? And a spouse has the most flexibility in terms of the choices that they have when they receive the IRA upon the death of the IRA owner. In most cases, the recipient, the beneficiary, will receive their IRA in the form of an inherited IRA, sometimes called a beneficiary IRA, right? And that can be either a traditional or a Roth. The Secure Act from a few years back put some limitations on what used to be called the stretch IRA, or the ability for beneficiaries to take required distributions out over their remaining life. Okay, there are now 5 categories of eligible designated beneficiaries that may continue to receive distributions from an inherited IRA over their remaining lifetime. All other beneficiaries, if you don't meet the definition or the criteria for one of these 5 categories of eligible beneficiaries, so everybody else must take distributions within a 10-year time period after the IRA owner's death. The 5 categories that qualify for eligible designated beneficiary status, or that can continue to receive distributions stretched over a longer period of time, is, of course, your spouse, a minor child of yours. That's not any minor child, that needs to be your minor child, and that's just not a grandchild. A beneficiary that has special needs, a beneficiary with a chronic illness, or any beneficiary that is not more than 10 years younger than the IRA owner, than yourself, right? And that can be oftentimes brothers, sisters, a significant other, right? For non-married individuals. So if you're not in one of those 5 categories, you do need to be limited in the period of time that you can take distributions from an inherited IRA. The second category of beneficiary designations is charities. This can really be a great choice for those that are charitably inclined. Okay, if you're planning to leave a portion of your estate to a charity, generally one of the best ways to do that is to have it come from a traditional IRA. Okay, funds in a traditional IRA, they were contributed by yourself on a pre-tax basis. They have grown tax deferred. And if now it's left to a charity at the time of your death, those funds will never have been taxed. Okay, so a great way to really maximize the charitable power of those funds. The third type of category that you can name as a beneficiary designation for an IRA is you can name a trust, right? Trusts provide protection and control. Okay, generally, a trust is going to be subject to taking distributions from that IRA over a 5-year period of time, which can result in some negative tax impacts. Trusts in general are taxed at a relatively high rate. The maximum rate that currently applies 37.5%. That's generally on income that the trust retains over roughly $10,000. So again, for very large IRAs, leaving funds to a trust can have some negative tax impacts. Trusts that meet certain requirements, however, may qualify for stretched out distributions. And those trusts need to meet certain requirements that the IRS has designated. So it's called a conduit trust. The fourth type of category is an estate, right? If you don't name a beneficiary for your IRA or as a default, then the IRA would pay out to your estate. Generally, this is something that is not recommended from a tax perspective because it's going to result in the IRA having to pay out again over a limited period of time, which can result in some significantly high income taxes. Okay, so we've talked about the basic form of an IRA, the traditional or Roth. We've talked about the basic types of beneficiaries that you can designate for an IRA. Now we're going to go into what a flex IRA is, right? So a flex IRA, this is a trusted IRA that's offered specifically by BECU Trust Services. It can be an excellent tool to be used as part of both your estate plan and your retirement plan, as it combines the terms of a trust with the benefits and simplicity of an IRA. Okay, how many of you are concerned about incapacity, especially later in life? Many, maybe some of you have a blended family, right? Second marriage, maybe children, stepchildren. How many of you do have children? Are they always responsible? Of those of you that have children, how many of you approve of the spousal choices of your children, right? Maybe is there a chance that some of them might get a divorce in the future? Okay, all of those questions lead to the possibility of a flex IRA being a good tool that I think you should consider using. Additionally, how many of you don't want to see just your IRA, which represents a lifetime of savings and hard work, to be wasted by your beneficiaries? So an IRA provides the protections of a trust, again, with the benefits of an IRA, okay? Generically, this type of product is known as a trusted IRA, but here at BECU Trust Services, we've created a product that we've called the FlexIRA that has some particular benefits. As a trust company, BECU Trust Services, we can serve as the trustee of your IRA, okay? And that's as opposed to the much more common custodial IRA that most other financial institutions offer. Okay, using our standard trusted IRA account document, depending on the choices that you make as the IRA owner, you can easily provide significant protection and control of the IRA funds in the event of your incapacity or your death. Okay. And again, you've worked hard to save and accumulate the funds that are in your IRA over your working lifetime, and you don't want to see those funds wasted by beneficiaries or go to people other than the ones that you care about. Yeah, trusted IRA and our FlexIRA can prevent the beneficiary from fully distributing the funds and wasting it on maybe drugs, alcohol, other less than responsible choices. Okay. Again, this FlexIRA can apply to either a traditional or a Roth IRA. The same rules apply for our FlexIRA as the more common custodial IRA, right? There are potential for income taxes, distributions from the traditional IRA are generally subject to income tax. There are penalties for early withdrawals, similar to traditional IRAs. Required minimum distributions apply the same way they do for regular custodial IRAs. And most importantly, you as the owner retain full control and revocability of this IRA during your lifetime. Okay, so what are the benefits of a FlexIRA? One of the most important one, it restricts the payout options to beneficiaries, right? For a custodial IRA, if you name a beneficiary as for your IRA, they receive that as an inherited IRA, and that beneficiary then has full control to take as much out of that IRA each year as they'd like. Okay, with a FlexIRA, when you choose the protected option, then distributions from the IRA are going to be restricted to required minimum distributions. You, as the IRA owner, have the ability to give us as the trustee the discretion to provide additional distributions from that IRA for the beneficiary's health, education, maintenance, and support. Okay, so that's an option. The other important aspect of a FlexIRA is that you, the IRA owner, you retain control as to who receives any money that's left in the IRA after the death of your primary beneficiary. Okay, this can, I think, most easily be thought of as a situation for those of you that are married. It's likely that you may want to name your spouse as the beneficiary of your IRA, right? Using a FlexIRA with protection, it allows the IRA to continue making required distributions to that surviving spouse of yours, but that surviving spouse would not have the ability to change the remainder beneficiaries after the surviving spouse's death. Okay, and that can be really important for blended families. If you're in a situation where you're in a second marriage, you had children from a first marriage, you likely would want to leave at least a portion of your IRA to your children from the first marriage. And using this particular FlexIRA option, leaving it to your spouse with protection, it doesn't allow the spouse to change the beneficiaries, protecting your children from potentially being disinherited from a step-parent. Okay, other benefits of a FlexIRA, very important, incapacity, right? Incapacity is really affecting many more people now. We have longer life expectancies today than we did many years ago. That life expectancy that we have doesn't always come with complete health, right? So in the event of your incapacity, a FlexIRA allows the trustee, that would be us, BECU Trust Services, to continue to professionally manage the investments. Okay, as the trustee, we already know who you are and your risk profile. using our investment philosophy of low-cost exchange-traded index-style funds, diversified between stock funds and bond funds, we would continue to manage your IRA to meet your requirements and your needs. That includes making required minimum distributions on your behalf and making distributions for your health and support needs, right? If you are incapacitated, it's likely you might be in the care of a nursing facility. We can make distributions from the IRA directly to that nursing facility without you having to give those instructions, since obviously you're incapacitated. Okay, this avoids the need for a court-appointed guardian as it relates to your IRA and the associated costs that a guardianship may include. Okay, it's possible that you may have a durable financial power of attorney if you have a good estate plan, and it's possible that without a FlexIRA, your power of attorney would have the ability to provide control and direction over your IRA. That may or may not be a good situation. A lot of times, your IRA could have some significant value, $500,000, $1 million or more sometimes, and leaving that amount of wealth in the control of whoever you've designated as your agent under a durable power of attorney may or may not make you feel comfortable, right? Maybe you feel comfortable with that financial power of attorney having responsibility to pay your bills from your checking account, which might have $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, but your IRA likely is much, much larger and opens up the possibility for this next item, which is elder financial protection, right? There's so many situations now where as people get older, they're not as tuned in to all the financial aspects of their lives. And elder abuse is something that is becoming much more common. The benefit of having a FlexIRA with Members Trust Company and BECU Trust Services, it ensures that that IRA is going to be protected under our watch and would significantly decrease the chances for any elder financial abuse. Our FlexIRA product doesn't fit everybody's needs exactly as the template account document is laid out. In that particular case, we're happy to work with you and your estate planning attorney to accept a customized beneficiary designation so that it can fit you and your situation and your specific needs. The other benefits of a FlexIRA is it provides protection from creditors. So a recent Supreme Court case indicated that inherited IRAs, and so this would be for your beneficiaries, not for yourself, okay? It's not a protected asset in bankruptcy. Well, under the terms of a trustee IRA, it actually can provide a higher level of protection and would possibly protect it from being claimed as an asset in the bankruptcy. Okay, and definitely can be provide protection in the event of your beneficiary having a divorce down the road. Our FlexIRA is a great way to provide protection while also providing an opportunity for reduced legal fees. In the event that you wanted to name a trust as the beneficiary of your IRA, it's likely you would need to use the services of an estate planning attorney. Okay, estate planning attorneys are wonderful and provide a great service. However, having an IRA as part of the assets that are going to fund a trust does create complications, and it can result in a much easier and simple, streamlined solution by utilizing a FlexIRA for your IRA assets. And that allows the attorney drafting a trust document to really just focus on the non-retirement assets. Yeah, legal fees for drafting a traditional trust often can exceed a couple $1,000s. That can go significantly higher than that, depending on the complexity. the cost for using a trust deed IRA and some of the trust features that our document offers, there are no legal fees as you're using our trust document. Okay, so we've talked about some of the benefits of our FlexIRA product. Well, there can be some drawbacks, right? Most notably, from a beneficiary's perspective, the beneficiary loses control. Well, this may be a drawback from the beneficiary's perspective, probably not a drawback from the IRA owner's perspective. I mean, the IRA owner, yourselves, you're choosing to use this product and utilize the features of the protected access option because of aspects of that beneficiary and the potential that they may make less than responsible decisions, right? Also, the beneficiary doesn't have the ability to name successor beneficiaries, right? You as the IRA owner get to name who those beneficiaries, the successor beneficiaries are after the death of your primary beneficiary. Okay, so again, if you're naming your spouse as the primary beneficiary upon the spouse's death, you've locked in who the remainder beneficiaries, those successor beneficiaries are going to be, whether that's charities, your children from prior marriage, all the children of multiple marriages, whatever the case may be. With a FlexIRA, there are required minimum distributions. It's really no different than the traditional IRAs. In the cases of our FlexIRA, the fees are slightly higher than what would be for an inherited IRA, 0.15%. So for BECU Trust Services to manage a traditional or Roth IRA directly for the IRA owner, our fees are 1%. After the death of the IRA owner in the form of a trusted IRA for that beneficiary, our fees are 1.15%. Again, just 0.15% higher. Not significant. Some people may see that as a drawback, but I think the benefits that the trusted IRA and the FlexIRA provide significantly outweigh the cost of that additional fee. Also, the minimum account size for a trusted IRA, slightly higher than what a typical custodial IRA can be. Many financial institutions will take a custodial IRA, even an inherited IRA, really of any particular size. For BEC Trust Services, there are limits in terms of the size. We're generally looking for an IRA or combined values of about $500,000. When it becomes a trusted IRA after the death of the IRA owner, the amounts can be below that $500,000 minimum. We'd be happy to talk with you if you have questions regarding that. Okay, our FlexIRA, well, a drawback, it's not offered by all financial firms. While there are some financial firms that offer a trusted IRA that may have some features of our FlexIRA, the FlexIRA product is only offered by BECU Trust Services. Okay, so let's go through a couple examples to hopefully try and make a little bit of this discussion a little more clear. Okay, in this particular illustration, a husband and wife, they're married. They each have 2 children from a prior marriage. In this particular case, the husband dies. Sorry, guys, but statistically, husbands die first. So in this particular example, okay, the husband had named the wife as the IRA beneficiary for a custodial, or what I'll call a more common custodial traditional IRA. In that particular example, the wife would receive the husband's IRA, right? The wife would then take it as his or her own. The wife would continue to receive required minimum distributions. Okay, assuming that wife is age 72 or older. Okay, the wife would have full control to name beneficiaries, right? The wife could name his or her children, all or anyone, including potentially a new spouse. During the lifetime of that wife, the wife has full control to take distributions as desired. Okay, eventually, the wife dies. The remaining value for that IRA goes to, well, question mark, it's whoever the wife had named as the beneficiaries of that IRA. Okay, so that's the most common form of beneficiary designations for a custodial IRA. For our FlexIRA, this is the product that gives you, the IRA owner, some additional control and protection on how your IRA is going to be used after your death. Okay, in this particular case, the husband had again named the wife as the beneficiary, but with restricted payments. And the husband named his 2 children from the first marriage as the remainder beneficiaries, right? Essentially, that means it's the stepchildren of the current wife. Okay, the wife receives annual required distributions, again, assuming that the wife is age 72 or more. The wife has no ability to change the remainder beneficiaries. So she or he does not have the ability to disinherit the husband's children from the first marriage. Okay. Only if needed and if the IRA owner selected, the wife can receive additional distributions from the trustee from that IRA for his or her health, education, maintenance, and support. Okay, eventually the wife dies. The remaining value, if any, of that in that IRA will then go to the husband's children. So in this particular example, really provides that protection for the children from the first marriage so that they don't get disinherited by evil or lovely step-parent, whatever the case may be. Okay, let's go to another example. Okay, in this particular example, the single person owns an IRA and is diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's, right? Or possibly suffers from a disabling accident. Okay, in this first example, with a custodial IRA, the IRA owner or a power of attorney, right, can act until the court declares an order of incompetence. Okay, if there is a durable power of attorney that the IRA owner has executed, then typically that agent under that power of attorney can continue to act and control the IRA as long as there's not a court declaration of incompetence. Okay, if the court does declare incapacity, the court-appointed guardian would take over and have responsibility for managing the IRA. The guardian or the agent then would have the responsibility to act in the owner's best interest. But how much does that guardian or agent, how much do they really know about the owner, what their risk profile is, what their needs are? It's possible they may know, it's possible that there may not be much knowledge there, right? The guardian or the agent may have the ability to change the investment manager, to change how it's invested, to completely change the nature and the aspects of that IRA. Okay, and then in this particular situation, there can be some costly court oversight and attorney fees that could result. Looking at the same situation, if the IRA owner had used a FlexIRA, it gives the, again, the IRA owner or power of attorney can act until the court declares incompetence. The trustee, that would be ourselves, BECU's Trust Services, then takes full control of that IRA. We would already be managing the IRA, but at this point, we no longer need to take any instructions from the incapacitated owner. We would have the ability make required distributions as needed, and continue to make distributions from the IRA for that owner's benefit. The IRA owner wouldn't have any fear of the investments changing, as it would continue to be managed in a way that the IRA owner felt comfortable, right? And in this particular case, it avoids any additional fees that could result from guardianship or court oversight. A FlexIRA has the ability to name 3 different types of trusts as the beneficiary as part of our standard trust template document. There is an income protection trust, a special needs trust for those beneficiaries that have disabilities and might be eligible for state or government benefits. And the third aspect of a trust that can be named as a beneficiary of our FlexIRA is a charitable remainder trust. A charitable remainder trust makes distributions to that beneficiary over a 20-year period of time. So it's going to be twice as long as what this current Secure Act may limit those required distributions to, which is 10 years, right? So using the charitable remainder trust as the designated beneficiary for the FlexIRA, distributions would be made to that beneficiary over 20 years based on 7% of the market value of that IRA each year. So it's a way to ensure that your beneficiary is going to receive distributions for 20 years. After the end of that 20-year time period, anything that's left in the IRA would go to the charity of the IRA owner's designation. Okay, so that is the FlexIRA, how it really provides the combination of protection of a trust while also providing the simplicity of an IRA. So, does everybody have an estate plan? If not, you need one. Your estate plan really needs to include plans for incapacity as well as death. Planning for incapacity really need to have those financial durable power of attorney and a healthcare durable power of attorney. Really important, right? If you have an estate plan, has it been updated, right? Does it reflect your current wishes and circumstances? Okay, and then for those of you that have an IRA, that typically is going to be a significant part of your estate at the time of your death. Consider using the FlexIRA for those of you that want to ensure protection in the event of incapacity, right? If you want to provide any type of protection or control over your IRA assets for any of your beneficiaries. Okay. And a FlexIRA, again, provides incapacity protections, okay? Gives the ability of the trustee to provide additional support to a beneficiary for their health, education, maintenance, and support. Can preserve the stretch out of a tax deferral, especially for eligible designated beneficiaries, especially that's typically spouses, beneficiaries that are less than 10 years younger than yourself. Okay, provides protection for remainder beneficiaries after the death of the primary beneficiary, so that anything left in your IRA after your primary beneficiary will go to the beneficiaries that you designate. Okay, FlexIRA provides creditor protection, provides protection for those minor beneficiaries, and can be very cost effective to create. All right. So that's the presentation. That's the FlexIRA and how it provides protection for your retirement assets. Kathy or Carvel, you guys there?
We are here, Kathy. Are there any questions in the queue?
I don't see any questions in the queue, so at this time we can unmute individuals if you want to raise your hand if you have a question.
Well, we have people potentially queuing up questions. I have a question for you, Mike or Kathy. If I am interested in hearing more about the Flex IRA or potentially starting the Flex IRA, what would I do? Who would I contact?
Sure, you're definitely reach out to ourselves here at BECU Trust Services. We would be happy to speak with you regarding your specific situation to see if a Flex IRA might be the right product for you and would be able to provide the protections and control that you might be looking for regarding, especially if you have beneficiaries that you have concerns about or a blended family situation. If you're charitably inclined and want to provide distributions from your IRA over a 20-year period of time to your beneficiary, and then with the remainder going to a charity, that can be a great option. There's just lots of great ways that this Flex IRA tool can be used and can be a great part of both your retirement plan as well as your estate plan.
Thank you, Mike. And as we know, it can be intimidating, or maybe you just don't want to ask questions that are, personal to your own situation. So, we do encourage you to reach out to us directly if you have any questions. You will have our phone numbers and emails that are a part of this slide deck, as well as they're on becu.org/trust. And so, Kathy, did we have any questions queued?
No, not that I see.
Alrighty. Well, we do appreciate everyone taking time out of your busy schedules to join our webinar around the Flex IRA. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us here at BECU Trust Services. Our phone number is on the screen, but it is 206-812-5176. Option 2, or you can send us an email. And again, if you do go to becu.org/trust, there is a section that says contact us, and you have our direct emails for everyone on our team. We have a team of 7 of us. You can email any of us, or you can give us a call, and we'd be happy to set up an appointment or just a phone call if you'd like to discuss your particular situation. With that being said, this concludes our webinar around the Flex IRA, and we do appreciate your time. Thank you so much for attending. Kathy, Mike, Sarah, are you guys still there?
I'm here, Carvel.
Okay, we can jump on Teams real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. All right, good job, you guys. See ya.
Good job. Here, let's jump on Teams.
Okay, thanks, bye.